Hey folks, and welcome to Flexline Productions as we bring you coverage of the 31st Annual City of Mobile Championships, brought to you by Semerád Pharmacy, one of our great partners out here, as we are going to be having our first round at the Admiral for our featured car. We'll be playing 2 rounds here and 1 round at Langham Municipal Park. My name is Dustin Mouret, and joining me is one of our local pros, J.C. Rohe. Sir, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good to hear it, as we do have a feature card of some names you'll recognize and a couple you won't, but we'll introduce them along the way.
Yeah, we've got a good group of guys out here. M.A.D.G.A, definitely known for this tournament. Silas, a young gunslinger, and then a couple other guys that played really well in the flex start. Let's move into hole 1, par 4, 525, classic Houck design with 2 options off the tee. Players that opt to go this inside route will have a much easier approach shot, but you'll probably see most players throw the hyzer as it's safer.
Starting off our tee box for our final group in. First up, Semerád from Shelby, Czech Republic.
Yeah, this is Semerád, representing Latitude 64, rated 1028, was our 2022 Euro Tour champion. Also placed top 10 at 2 Silver Series events last year on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Had 3 top 15 finishes at Elite or higher events, and was in the top 20 at Worlds, so definitely a strong player. That is so well done.
Alrighty, second on our tee box, winning the flex start yesterday from Matthews, North Carolina. Y'all give it up for Clay Edwards.
And as Tate, our tournament director, said, he did win the flex start with an 8 under par to join this feature card. He represents Castoplast, has 14 career PDGA MPO wins since 2018. Did have a few top 25 finishes at some Silver Series events last year on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, but mostly known for playing in that North Carolina area, so of course he'll be familiar with the woods for that reason.
Yeah, and he sneaks it out right. Just gives a little kick off to the edge.
Alrighty, y'all know the guy. Third on the tee box, fan voted, first time junior world champion. Y'all give it up from right across the water over in Biloxi, Mississippi, Silas Williams.
Indeed, the young gun, just 15 years old, representing Innova Disc, was the 2023 Junior World Champion for the MJ15 division. Is just beginning his pro career, but already has 4 wins since late 2022, including a win at the Fairhope Jubilee earlier in 2024. And just a consistent top finisher here in the Southeast region. And just broke 1,000 rated.
Congratulations to him. As he kind of kicks off right.
The man who needs no introduction, your reigning champion from right here, Creola, Alabama. Y'all give it up for Hound Dog Boom M.A.D.G.A.
Yeah, a man who needs little introduction as he represents West Side Disc. Just signed a big extension there. He's currently ranked in the top 10 in both the PDGA and UDisc World rankings. Grabbed his first win at an Elite or higher event last year at the MVP Open. And is fresh off of a 6th place finish at the Chess.com Invitational. Is a 7-time COM champion and has won it the last 3 years in a row.
He's just a little inside there. Kicks to a decent position. He should have a flex forehand to get up and down for the birdie.
Yeah, Silas is essentially playing the hole from the red tee now. Needs to get around this corner, try to save par.
He plays it out right safely just to make sure that he doesn't get in any trouble on the inside. Definitely playing for par there.
M.A.D.G.A could, in theory, get up and down with a great flex forehand, but very tough to do from this angle.
And gets a pretty bad kick there. We'll have to see where he finishes out.
Yes, you know, this course shows its teeth right away on hole 1. I mean, it's a par 4 that you really have to work for, and it really sets the tone for what is a, you know, pretty dangerous wooded course.
Clay opting for the forehand roller there. I think he pushed up pretty good.
I guess it's also worth noting at this point that we did have some rough weather conditions on this day. It was raining off and on all day, so you'll notice some rain hitting the players at different points throughout this round. So did impact, you know, footing as well as grip and all that good stuff.
M.A.D.G.A with a fancy little grenade-looking shot there.
Yeah, really well done to salvage par on this hole, perhaps. Silas has done well to save par as well in his own right after a little bit of a rough tee shot. Long look for Yakub for birdie here.
He kind of left it a little short on this upshot and leaves it a little short there as well. Maybe some hole one nerves.
Yeah, there is no harm in taking a par on this hole.
Clay just with the awkward footing there, he's going to have to settle for par as well.
A little left side there for M.A.D.G.A, but flashing the comm rings for that one.
Yeah, those catch more often than not for him for some reason.
Everyone else should just be cleaning up their pars at this point. So no one taking any damage on this first hole. Again, it's not one that's easily birdied. And so you feel pretty good about a par on it.
That'll move us into hole 2. 252 feet, pretty tight gap off the tee. Throwing a slight hyzer, you really just want to miss the tree to the right of the fairway and scoot into this very fast green.
Yeah, it's one of those holes that's just intimidating because of the tight gap right off the tee. Kind of just makes you think a little bit, even though you should be able to clear it no problem.
Yakub flirting with that tree right there on the right and gets up there for a birdie look.
You know, just want to keep it as straight as you can with a gentle fade. Mostly putters on this one. So maybe some kind of Berg or Rico here from Clay Edwards. Not super familiar with Castleclast, unfortunately.
I feel like this is a pretty good Berg hole here. Just you can commit to the shot. Not too much fade. He kind of leaks it a little early, but should be on the green.
Yeah, and Silas, of course, playing for Innova. I know he does like throwing the P3X a lot, just kind of like an old Dismania mold that Innova used to make. So it could be that, or some other type of AVR or something here for him.
Whatever it was, he threw it nicely.
And then M.A.D.G.A is going to be throwing the new Opto Ice Pure from Chris and Tatar. Usually would throw like a Maiden now. It's kind of his favorite straight shooter, but he's been liking the Pure lately. Even putted with it there for a little bit.
Showing you that soft neutral flight with the Pure, just putting it on a touch of hyzer and letting it fall to the left.
And so this is our furthest putt on the hole. We're looking in pretty good shape for a potential star frame here as everyone executed the hole really well off the tee. Every now and then you'll see someone get caught up early, but this card certainly executed really well here.
Yeah, you'll find out here at the Admiral that the par 3s, with the exception of hole 7, don't really have too much teeth. You definitely want to try to attack all of them.
We'll see everyone cleaning up their birdies here, no problems. So everyone going to be starting out 1 under through 2, which is a pretty good place to be on this course.
Move into hole 3, 246 feet, 2 gaps off the tee. You can either opt for the forehand hyzer or maybe a sneaky backhand, slight turnover on the drone flight. Looks like Yakub is going for that outside hyzer look here.
Yeah, just trying to hit that gap right over the front of the red tee, but does catch that left tree, so gonna have to scramble for his par from there, but that is usually the gap that you'd like to hit. Again, there is kind of a straight putter shot up the right-hand side as well.
Yeah, I prefer the hyzer here because as soon as you hit the gap, it's a lot more open. As Clay shows you that.
Yeah, that's really clean. That might actually be deep, which is pretty rare for this hole. Got a putter shot here from Silas. Again, usually you see players take the putter up this right-hand side, maybe a slight turn, but mostly just a dead straight shot. But Silas likes to go turn over it through the left side, so that's more of a rare option. But it works out well, it looked like. I expect M.A.D.G.A will take that right lane. That's the play he usually does on this hole.
Very Chickasaw-esque route.
Rest in peace, Bogue. He'll be back one day. Just throwing that Warden nice and smooth up the lane.
Very exaggerated follow through there, and he likes it.
I like it. Do you like it?
I meant this shot, not the...
That's what I was talking about. Actually, both. Why not?
Yeah, Clay did skip a little deep here.
Oh, that's tough. Might be obstructed.
That fast green right there. Just anything faster speeds, you have to take that into account with your play.
But a great putt from Clay Edwards. Maybe showing you a little bit of a reason why he got that hot score to make this feature card. As again, I didn't really know too much about him before this tournament, but as the tournament went on, he was very much showing that he was a strong player. Jakub, long birdie putt here. Just a touch slow. Silas, though, no trouble banging in his birdie. A little bit of trouble picking up the mini in his other disc, but, you know, we'll let that one slide.
Just a little fumble there, yeah.
Yeah, no big deal. We're not out here rating that. Everyone else will just kind of clean things up, including M.A.D.G.A, who has just a tap-in birdie here. This coverage is brought to you by Semerád Pharmacy, one of the biggest disc golf stores in southern Alabama. They have a wide variety of new and used equipment, so they can definitely take care of all of your disc golf needs. Be sure to check them out.
All right, and that brings us back to hole 4. It's the first par 5 of the course. Not long by any means at 818 feet, but definitely has some teeth. Most players are probably going to try to blast through the wall of trees we just passed by to give a shot to go through this gap right here for an eagle look, if you have that option.
Yeah, right side is definitely the more favored side on this hole. While it is dual option, the right lane is certainly wider and a little more forgiving. So trying to play this wide hyzer outright and then just hope that you can break through is really the goal. This Clay will kind of filter right into that group of trees we were talking about, but he still might be able to do a little something from there.
Yeah, definitely, birdie's definitely still in play, but...
Oh, yeah. Eagle likely off the table from that spot. Good shot here from Silas. Kicks right, which is going to cut him off a little bit, I think, JC.
Very unfortunate there.
Still in play for birdie, though. Little tippy taps there before throwing the tins.
Just dialing it in.
I hear you. I mean, he dialed it right through those trees. That is pretty much the perfect landing zone.
And he'll be licking his chops at throwing a mash down that right side.
Yes, he is certainly in position to attempt the eagle. To be clear, the eagle is rare on this hole. It's not super common, but it is possible.
Jakub just a little inside there, gets caught up. He should still be in position to get himself into a good shot for his third.
Yeah, birdie is still on the board for everyone here as long as they can execute their next shots.
I think this is where the hole definitely gets you, is executing this second shot.
Right. Yeah, I feel like oftentimes you are in a pretty challenging position. You have to throw a really good second shot to make up for it. It slides on up there. And this is tough for Silas. He kind of just has to pitch one, but honestly, really well done.
Yeah, that's a lot of distance just from where he was at.
Absolutely. I mean, you think from there you're kind of pitching into the fairway, but he actually managed to penetrate down there a pretty good bit. Matt looking to attack for eagle here up the right lane. Oh, just a little too turned.
Just kind of catches that tree on the right side. Kind of an awkward position here. Probably 150, 160 to the pin.
That's a little patent pinned and getting nimble and getting sneaky up there. Really well done.
You'll see Clay and Yakub here over on this left side. That gives you a couple options. You can sneak a hyzer through it, as it looks like Clay's doing. He does so well.
Yep, right through the middle. So you should have a putt at birdie for sure. Yakub going for the forehand option, just staying in the left lane the entire time up to the green.
A little tighter, but if you're more confident with keeping your eye on the pin,
There you go.
it's the better option.
Gets it done too, no problem there. So looking like we got a lot of potential birdies on play.
Silas just a little excited on that shot. Kind of puts it out wide, but it'll be right at circle's edge here.
And he's a pretty strong step putter too, so I put at least a good bid here. Well,
Great bid.
yeah, inside the chains usually ideal. It's really well done there from Silas. 3 down through 4. Really good start here for, again, a guy who's just starting his professional career and hasn't really been on coverage much, so he's handling himself well out there. Matty to match with his quote-unquote Scotty Camerons. He likes to call them his judges.
We'll have another star frame here, so
Pretty solid for this hole, too, to get that.
especially in these conditions.
Yeah. I was expecting at least one person to maybe have to slip up, but all good.
We've got the gallery starting to pick up here as we move into hole 5. Another par 3 here, 249 feet. Most players are probably going to throw a forehand, but you will see the occasional backhand just to place it 20 foot to the left of the pin.
Yeah, bud.
Great flex shot here.
Go in the basket.
Pretty fast. That might have been like a stall or something like that from Cast of Class, if that was fairway. Maybe the yarn if he was going approach disc. That's probably some kind of Firebird here from Silas.
I think he's been liking those Halo Firebirds.
Just cooks it a little too much. Center kick, though, so he'll be able to get up and down for par. And that is easy to do on this hole, just kind of overflex it. As M.A.D.G.A going to go for the putter backhand shot you were talking about.
Yeah, there's less shape you have to worry about with this shot. You're not necessarily giving it an ace run, and errant shots can filter away from the basket, but I like this play as well.
It's also going to minimize the ground action once it gets up there. As a lot of these greens are, you know, pretty fast.
Yeah, M.A.D.G.A not getting the ground action, as you mentioned.
And we're back to forehands here with Yakub. And pretty well done. Gonna have himself a circle 1 putt for birdie. Well, running jump putt here from Silas just to try to get up there for par.
Yeah, he was probably trying to get over on that a little bit more just to give it a run. Leaving a little distance on the putt, and unfortunately doesn't get that one to connect.
Yeah, it'll be really the first mistake of anyone, really, so far this round. He will be taking bogey on this hole. And, well, another misfire there on the putting green from Clay. That's going to just keep him at par on this hole. So, Yakub, though, here looking for birdie. And a very rare air ball. Must have been something with the grip or something there.
There's probably something in the air there. We had 3 missed putts from inside the circle.
Good recovery, though. Just kind of settles down, composes himself, and makes sure he gets the par out of it at least. So at least no damage taken. This will be bogey for Silas, and M.A.D.G.A and Clay will be looking to tap in for par. We didn't catch M.A.D.G.A's up shot, but he just kind of pitched up.
Not exactly what you'd expect to see on hole 5, as it is one of the easier holes on the course, but moves us into hole 6. A little bit tougher of a par 4 here. Most players are going to opt for this hyzer here, trying to play up to just past this curvy tree and give themselves a straight look to the basket. Some players can blast it off the tee and try to get closer, maybe end up in that hyzer lane over to the right side.
Yeah, definitely a tricky tee shot. We just got to stay in that center right lane there, which Clay has done really nicely. Really well done.
Thanks. Perfect. Very good. Very good.
So M.A.D.G.A will essentially look to follow that same vapor trail with his shot.
Putting a little bit more of a move on this one.
It catches a tree, but still made a lot of progress, so should still be in decent shape. As we get to Yakub with his favorite red and yellow here.
Yeah.
And well done.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's probably exactly where you want to be off the tee here. If you're just throwing a mid, I think that's what he was throwing there. Imagine this may be a destroyer from Silas.
Yeah, not
Thunderbird.
sure. Yeah, maybe it could be Thunderbird. That's going to do pretty well.
Oh boy.
It's so funny. I got like 150 feet.
That is funny. I guess.
Matt here playing a little casual off the water there, getting a good move up.
Yeah, nice shot.
Yeah, really well done there.
2 iron, baby, 2 iron.
I'm not sure what his 2-iron is, but leave it to M.A.D.G.A. He's always got something interesting to say. That's one thing you can't deny.
And Yakub looking to follow that same line.
Oh!
A little more inside and giving it a run. That would have been a pretty sick eagle.
That would have been pretty insane.
Silas just a little overturned there, possibly due to footing.
And he sailed that one for sure, so he's going to have an obstructed putt there in the woods for his birdie look. Man, Clay got way up there.
Yeah, I believe we missed his second shot here.
Oh, fair enough. That would make a lot more sense. Good pitch up, though.
Just a little nose up there from Silas. Not really particularly fond of the straddle putt.
There's Yakub for birdie after a near eagle throw-in. And that will do. So our feature card keeping the scores pretty close here to these first few holes. So M.A.D.G.A is looking to try to take a little bit of a lead here with the birdie. And there you go.
4 down through 6. That's a pretty solid start there.
I'd say so. And Clay will knock in the par putt. This is even a stroke behind Matt. Just a few holes left to play here on this front nine. So par here for Silas. And no problem. This coverage is brought to you by Semerád Pharmacy, one of the biggest disc golf stores in southern Alabama. They have a wide variety of new and used equipment, so they can definitely take care of all of your disc golf needs. Be sure to check them out.
That moves us into hole 7. In my opinion, the only par 3 on the typical layout that has a lot of teeth. Players are going to opt to lay up just before this water here to give them a putt across, but you have to first get out of the gaps here.
Yeah, this is a very difficult hole to score birdie on, and even par can be tricky.
As M.A.D.G.A gets away with one there, kind of a little inside release, but sneaks through the trees.
Yeah, a lot of the times, if you just get out this gap, a lot of people are just kind of laying up to the island and then taking par from there. But Yakub, man, that is going to take a real effort to save par from there.
Yeah, he's going to have some work to do.
Because, I mean, it's a very small island that the basket sits on, and sticking it is just so difficult from range.
Yeah, and one thing to mention, if you do end up in the water here, you have to go to a drop zone off the tee.
That thing's got some speed on it.
Yeah, I think that was the berg there, so I had to put a little bit of move on it to get it down there, but very easy to have distance control.
Yeah, really the only two mistakes you can make off the tee are just getting caught up early or hitting it too hard and going into the water.
Silas here looking like he's doing that hitting it too hard option.
Yeah, it needs this to stop. And no. Yeah, again, these are very tightly packed, fast fairways, so not really ever going to get the breaks very much. As Yakub is going to elect to lay up and go for a kind of death par putt. But that's probably the smarter option of what he had there.
Clay laying up as well, kind of giving it a little half bid there.
That's a typical play. As M.A.D.G.A.'s got a real dangerous putt here. But he's trying to send it for birdie a little bit, it looked like. But
kind of just never really had a chance. It was like he wanted it, but changed his mind last second.
yeah. As again, this is a very difficult par putt for Yakub. But floats it in there. Beautifully done from Semerád. As that's one of those putts that can easily get away from you, sail into the water, and all of a sudden you're taking a double.
Yeah, but especially with the wind being right to left here, so he played the wind perfectly.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Great par save from Yakub. As Silas wants nothing to do with this drop zone putt, as I don't blame him. It's a very dangerous one. That wind is roaring right now. So he'll just take the damage. And as we finish up on hole 7, we're actually going to get to our first change to the Admiral layout that was used for City Mobile Championships this year. So everything's been from the blues or whites so far, but this is a little different.
Yeah, so we're playing from the white tee, but typically a par 4, I'm playing as a par 3. 479 feet uphill. You got to have a really big arm to reach this green, especially in this wind. Players aren't probably too worried about the gap. It's just getting the distance.
Yeah, like you said, normally this place is a par 4 from a little bit further back from the blue tee. It's a pretty soft par 4 for that reason, but now being bumped up to a par 3, definitely a little bit more difficult to get that birdie as Matt comes up a little short there. As you said, the wind probably having a lot to do with it.
Yeah, so this runs parallel with 7, so we're still having that strong right to left. Any shots that turn over too much are probably going to fall to the right. Anything that stays on a hyzer is probably just going to push left.
Yeah, decent move there from Yakub, but going to come up just short. As it's also worth noting this plays, decently uphill, so probably plays a little longer than the 479 would suggest. So we get to Clay here. wind has picked up for his tee shot, as you can hear. Or that could be a plane. Or both.
Clay going a little flippier here. That wind's just not allowing it to come back.
Yeah, I think in this particular layout, you don't feel too bad about a par on this hole. Whereas in the past, it was kind of a must birdie. Well, we'll see what Silas can do here. Definitely a powerful thrower. Probably some kind of Halo Destroyer or something in his hands. Or maybe a boss. Oh, he likes to use both.
And for 15 years old, he's definitely got an arm on him.
Yeah, I know he threw it over 500 feet for the distance contest at Junior Worlds last year. So definitely has that type of power.
He was telling me a story that he broke 600 the other day. Granted, it was in a tailwind, but still pretty solid feet.
Yeah, I mean, this man kind of just breathes, eats everything disc golf. And definitely, you know, one of those rising prospects in our region for sure. It's looking like we're going to see a lot of pars here on this hole from this card. No one quite really able to put themselves in, you know, safe putting distance, I would say. And that looked odd.
Yeah, it looked like he was possibly, being over that left side, it's more of a headwind. He was probably trying to play it a little lower. As you mentioned, no one's real comfortable running that putt in the wind.
Exactly. So yeah, it looks like it's just going to be some par cleanups here from our feature card. As again, this was one of the new changes to the course this year, and definitely made this hole play tougher.
Yeah, I wasn't too much of a fan of this change particularly, but as you see, it's still a bunch of threes either way. That's how
Exactly.
it would play from the blue tee most likely. As we move into our final hole in the front nine. Par 3, 273, low ceiling. Players can opt for an outside forehand gap, but most are probably going to just blast one up the middle here. Try to scoot it up to the basket.
Yeah, again, if you can keep it underneath the low ceiling, get some good speed on your disc, you're likely to slide forward a pretty good bit unless you get unlucky, hit a root or a pine cone or something. Mostly mids off the tee, I would imagine, for the card. As M.A.D.G.A does exactly what we were talking about, slides it on up there. So it looks like he will finish 5 down through 9, which is a really good start. A little higher from Yaku, but still makes its way up there, no problem.
Clay pulls it a little right here. But fortunate enough to sneak through, he gets a little deep. That could be a pretty taunting putt there.
Looks like fairway driver in hand here for Silas. So a little bit of a tick up in speed for his shot selection. And puts a mash on it. This could go deep. Or in.
Yeah, he was calling for it to get down. I was thinking in as well. He's going to be pretty good ways back there.
Man, he's going to have a little bit of an obstructed putt here, and he's got a stepper ahead of him, so he's outside the circle. But cans it.
Yeah, that's no problem for him there.
Yeah, really well done. I'm sure he's happy to have that one. He had a couple of just barely off opportunities, step putting, but finally connects on one. Clay will finish off his front 9 4 down. So kind of keeping pace with the score that he shot to get onto this feature card during the flex start. Matteo looking to go 5 down through 9 with this putt.
I like that he's still going through his routine here, even though it's 15 feet. Don't want any mistakes, unwarranted mistakes.
Exactly.
A little strong there. Tried to spit back out, but sticks in, and that's another star frame to wrap up our back 9. I'm a front 9.
We're almost to the back 9.
Almost.
That's where everyone's headed right now on your screen, as we are going to finish things up here for our opening round on the front 9 at the Admiral. Again, we appreciate you all tuning in. Hope that you'll like and subscribe so you can catch the rest of our coverage as well as future work from Flexline Productions. Again, I'm Dustin Mouret, and with me was JC Rowe, and we'll take one last look at the scores here as we are seeing 4 down from Clay, 5 down from M.A.D.G.A. Both of those clean cards, and the rest not too far off, but a couple of hiccups along the way. But we'll catch the rest of the action on the back 9. See you there.